Did you hear about our new sponsor, Learn It? One of the best ways to support your team is by investing in their growth through practical learning experiences. And that's exactly what Learn It delivers. Their short, live workshops focus on the essential human skills we all need, like empowering others, managing change, and team collaboration. As a Speak with People listener, you get a free 45-day trial for up to 20 people. Start today by heading to learnit.com/speakwithpeople or click the link in the show notes and start your journey to investing in providing great growth for your team. Welcome to the Speak with People podcast, where we believe that healthy communication is the key to unlocking your leadership potential. We are the go-to resource for leaders looking to greatly improve their communication skills, whether it's one-on-one interactions, team settings, public speaking, or digital communication. By improving these skills, leaders can create stronger connections and drive positive change within their organizations. Each and every episode, we sit down with experts from various fields from around the world, just like you're grabbing a coffee with them, to dive into real, practical conversations. Our goal is to help you transform your communication skills so you can lead more effectively, build stronger relationships, and make a lasting impact. So go grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's learn together. Well, have you ever struggled to connect with your audience and make your message stand out? You as a business professional, have you ever tried to stand out with using video? You're on LinkedIn, you're on social media, and you start to see more and more of your peers filming videos, talking about the things they're doing, and you're wondering, can I connect with my clients in a stronger way if I start posting more videos? But then you're really worried about, how do I film video? Will I show up on video? What if I don't know what to say? Well, guess what? Today, this episode is for you. We've all been there. And yes, you as a leader, you need to start utilizing video. That's why I'm so excited today to talk to an expert, someone I go back 20 plus years, a man that I highly look up to. I've respected him for a long, long time. He is a master at his craft. Ryan Koral, thank you so much for being on the Speak with People podcast.
Dude, this is an honor. I'm just happy to be here. This is going to be a lot of fun.
This is great. Now, I just got to chide you. I don't know if anybody uses the word chide anymore, but
I know, but I'm curious to hear what this means.
Is there snow up there in the Great White North?
Come on, dude. Stop. You people that move from Michigan to Florida are so annoying. There's not snow, but there might be hints of it, okay? And I know we're in like the middle of April right now as of this recording, but goodness, we will be sitting outside for my daughter's track meet today, and I will bring my winter coat and a blanket because, yes, it's that cold. No snow, though.
Yeah,
thanks.
I'm with you. Last week it got to like 59 for about an hour. I mean,
I'm going to take my shirt off in 59 degrees. Roll my windows down in my car. Yeah, that sounds dreamy.
Well, I love it. Well, hey, for our guests who are now super interested in your story.
And uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's what we do on the Speakfield podcast. Would you take us through a little bit of your story, who you are, what you do, what's kind of got you to this place?
Yeah, well, you and I met when I was working at Rochester College, which is now Rochester Christian University in the Metro Detroit area. Forever ago, my job there was community outreach director, and really what that meant was I needed to connect with people in the community and let them know about this tiny little gem of a school that changed my life and the trajectory of all the things for me. Met my wife at the school, met our best friends at the school. I worked there after I graduated in 2002. And so this is before YouTube. And I knew that, if you worked anywhere, sometimes you might see, or you go to conventions, they had these little DVD, like business card DVDs, they were like cut on the side and to make them skinny and business card size. I was like, if we could have those and take these to youth events and let people know about the amazing stuff that's happening at the school, that would be so cool. I convinced my boss to buy me a video camera and a computer, and I started making videos all around campus. We had a summer camp, we had a concert series, we had just different things. I started shooting and editing, and I kind of dabbled in middle school and high school, making zombie videos with ketchup and all that stuff. But never, it just was not, the technology wasn't there. There was no desire to go to Hollywood or anything like that. But the technology had changed at this point in time, and I just fell in love with telling stories, capturing images and editing it and turning it into something that people would laugh at or cry at or just like be like, that was so cool. And I ended up leaving the college to start my video production business back in 2004. And the business has taken on a lot of different forms over the last 20 years. But I feel so grateful to have been able to meet incredible people, capture amazing stories, and help businesses, help individuals. That's what I mean. The power of video. We all know this now today, but back in 2004, it was like, this is amazing. This is really cool. But YouTube was not even out. It wasn't a thing yet, and people couldn't shoot videos on their phone. And now everybody has access to be able to do this. But I think that for us in business, there are things that we tell ourselves, or things that are holding us back from putting ourselves out there, creating this kind of like vulnerable, like, I'm not a video pro. There are plenty of people out there that have way better looking equipment, and they look better than me and they sound better than me. Like, this is not for me. I'll craft really well crafted AI posts on LinkedIn, and but to actually show up, maybe I'll get one of those AI avatars. But to do this, man, that's just like next level, and it sounds too complicated, and all of the things. But I'm here, hopefully today, to encourage people that you don't have to be a video pro to show up for your people, if you really have a desire to serve the people that you feel called to serve.
Oof. Oof. So 20 plus years, right? Your
Yeah, dude.
business.
Yeah.
Wow.
Old guy. I'm an old guy like you.
So
That's all that means.
I was talking to a business owner. He's 10 years in, and he said it was pretty iffy until probably
Mm.
like year 4 for sure, but 5, 6 is when maybe 7. It was like, ooh, okay, I think it's not gonna be so iffy. I know there's lots of entrepreneurs that listen to this podcast. How was it for you? Was the first couple of years just magical? Like everything went your way? Was it a struggle? Did you get some, how was the build for you?
Well, let me tell you how I became an overnight success in 20 years. Yeah, once we got through COVID, we finally started feeling like, okay, we can do this. No, I'm just kidding. That was really tough. I mean, it's obviously tough
Oof.
for a lot of people. That has been a very challenging chapter, over the last 5 years of just figuring out, how do people want to show up and use video, with just lots of different, there are just lots of things happening today, especially today with video and how it can be used. But out of the gates, things were great. I had a large network of people at the college. This church that we went to was they had a great production team, and they would bring me in to do projects on my own. And I you know it gradually just increased. I made more money than I ever had, which wasn't really hard to replace my $22,000 a year salary at the college. People are like, wow, that's really risky to start a business. I'm like, wait, are you serious? Like, all I need to do is make $11 an hour or more. So yeah, I would say there were certain times like 2012, 2016, 2020. Those were like really hard years where we were doing different things in the business, or things were happening in the world around us that kind of forced us to look inward. But for the most part, we've been on a trajectory of growth. And then the last 5 years, it's been like, okay, are we growing? I don't know. What's happening right now? So it's going fine. I'm still doing it, and I had a call with an integrator, implementer. They work with EOS business stuff earlier today, and we're just talking about like the next chapter of the business, and how having somebody alongside to help in those areas would be great. So business is still, we're still making money, and I'm grateful to be in this spot.
Oh, that's incredible. Uh, Guy we both know, Terry Weaver, he'll tell me all the time. He's like, it's just a hobby if you're not making money. And I'm like, yep, gotta
Yeah.
gotta keep. I mean, it's good. I've watched you build from afar, and then we kind of reconnected in kind of a magical way back in the fall in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was beautiful. But what I was struck with just uh, how well you have built a community around this as well. I mean, you have like a giant, right? Like group community aspect where other videographers can come and learn. And I mean, you've done all those things. Like what kind of started that journey for you to want to be able to pour into other people?
Oh, thank you. That's one. I think one of the things I'm proudest of, because it's like the people that, everybody, like these people know the dirty laundry. They know the things. So I could trick somebody like you and be like, yeah, we got it all together. We're the best, whatever. But when you hang out with peers that are doing the same thing as you, it's like everybody knows, like, dude, like we know what you're doing. Like we know what's going on. I would say from the very, very beginning of my business, when I launched in 2004, I started meeting with anybody that I knew that was a photographer or video person that I could learn from. And I was just the most hungry entrepreneur, new business owner out there. That's one of our core values. One of our 3 core values is hungry. And I've always been like that. I listen to audiobooks all the time. I love listening to podcasts. I love watching videos. Do I implement? I implement maybe 0.5% of all the things, but that's 0.5% that I didn't have before that. So
Yep.
whatever. But early on, I joined this video association here in Detroit. It was called the Michigan Independent Video Association. Longest name ever, kind of annoying. But there was this like community, pre-built community of like 40 or 50 entrepreneurs. These guys, a lot of them had been filming weddings forever, and they're crotchety. They're getting ready to retire. All this digital stuff is coming out. They're annoyed. And so it was just kind of hilarious to like, be brand new and excited about all the things. And they're just like, super negative and whatever. But it was just a fun opportunity to be able to be with them and appreciate where they're at. And I understood, I could really understand where they were coming from. And so we had these monthly meetings. It was all about education. We'd bring in speakers, and eventually I became the president of that association. And then eventually in 2016, I'm still the president of this group, and I'm just thinking, I'm like, man, I would love to, at the end of the day, I would love to figure out how to monetize this. I have given so much of my time. We've put on amazing events. We've had people fly in from all over the world to speak at our events. And, my wife is like, yeah, we've got like, 2.5 kids at this point. We ended up having 3. Like she turned into like a full, fully sized person. But she, her thing was like, yeah, like, you're gone, once or twice a month for this organization. You don't make any money. And she's kind of like, that'd be nice. And my team at the same time started telling me like, dude, you need to stop booking new video projects because we're at capacity. And I'm like, well, I've got more capacity in me. Like, what am I going to do? And right along that same time, I think I was listening to Pat Flynn, and he's talking about all these different businesses, and I realized, I'm like, man, I could probably start a podcast, and I could create maybe a webinar and sell a digital course on what I've learned, because I was in the wedding filmmaking space for so long, and then I transitioned into corporate filmmaking. And there's so many guys and gals that want to go from weddings to corporate because of lifestyle, because you start having kids, and it's like, I want to get my weekends back. And so I just figured it out. I partnered with another guy, Matt, and we launched this thing, and we had 10 people that bought our $1,000 course on how to become, I don't know, successful corporate filmmaker, something or other. And people bought it. They loved it. And I was like, holy cow, I think there's something here. And eventually Matt stepped down from that business, but I took the torch, and I just said, this is not only like, is this a great like source of revenue for me, but this is like really fun and fulfilling work. I know the life of a creative, but I also am very business minded, and I care so much about learning how to grow a better, more sustainable, more scalable business. So I was kind of in this like good spot where I could speak the language of the creative and know the struggles that us as creatives have, but then also like, okay, at the end of the day, if you want to build something that's sustainable, you've got to be profitable. And here's how you become profitable. You can't just book $1,000 job and then buy an $800 piece of gear and think that like you just made $1,000. No, you make 200 because you got some other expenses there. So that's been a joy to grow that community, to build a ton of trust. I've got an in-person event that we do annually. I've got a mastermind that I lead. We're adding a second mastermind. I've got a group coaching thing. It's just yesterday I texted one of the groups that I'm in, and one of the guys sent me a audio message this morning that was just so powerful.
Mm.
And he just said, I mean, in few words or less, and not exaggerating, he might have been exaggerating, but I'm not exaggerating what he said. You have changed my life and my business. I didn't know if I was going to make it, and here I am. He said, as a solopreneur, as a brand new, I mean, he's less than a year in, and this month he'll do $30,000 in sales, and he's like, I never would have thought I could have done that, and so that's what I get to be a part of, and it's super special.
Wow. Wow. That's incredible. And I was just thinking about, uh, it was the days I went from playing in a band to just being a speaker. And being a speaker, you don't have to divvy up the honorarium or the check. And, for you videographers, you need the equipment. I just have to show up. I was like,
Right?
okay,
Yeah.
good. I don't have to buy any, well, of course I, need some things, but yeah. Wow. That is,
Dude, we would show up for the longest time. We'd show up to weddings, and I would hate the photographers because they would have one, maybe two cameras strapped to their shoulders. That was it. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. We've got like, carts and the huge bags and tripods and just so much stuff. So yeah, definitely jealous of the people that don't need to bring the things. Stop laughing.
no, I know. Goodness. Well, I'm thinking about the leader who's listening, who's a financial advisor. He's got his own shop. I'm thinking about, someone in sales, and they're thinking, okay, I do what you talked about. I'm listening to all these podcasts. I'm watching all this other stuff, but I think there's a message in me, and I want to start sharing this, but does the world really need another voice? Do they really need me to put videos of my thoughts on LinkedIn? Where do I even start? Walk us through the advice you'd give that leader.
Like, holy crap, yes, the world needs what you have. I mean, you walk into a library, walk into a bookstore, how many books on business are there? How many books on public speaking are there? They're all over the place, right? There's an endless supply, and like this year, more will come out. But the thing is, it's like, even in my community of filmmakers, like, let's just like drill down, not the people that are hiring us to do video projects, but just the filmmaker community. There are people in this community that buy my courses, and then they buy Parker's courses, and then they buy Eric's courses, and that's fine. Like, I believe in abundance, and I know that I'm perfect for somebody, but I'm not perfect for everybody, right? Far from it. And so by you holding back, you're not giving people an opportunity to hear your voice and your perspective and your story and your experience, because that's what makes you you, and that's what gives you your passion, and that's what gives you your why. So we can all learn something from somebody, and if you have a specialty, something that you really care about, and hopefully it's the work that you're doing, because if that can come across to somebody for the right person, that's exactly what they need. And when we look at, raise your hand if you would like to work only with your ideal clients. That's like everybody, right? It's like, okay, this is what my ideal client is, this, and
Yep.
this. Yeah, that's all I want to work with. People that have a lot of money, people that are fun to be around, people that give me control when it comes to creative decisions and whatever. They trust our creative expertise and our video marketing expertise. Like, those are ideal clients for us. And the best way, the fastest way for me to get more clients like that is to show up exactly as I am. I don't want people to be surprised when they get on a discovery call with me and I show up a certain way. And then I'm just trying to get them to sign the contract. They sign the contract, and then we start working together, and they're like, oh my gosh, like, you are a jerk, or you're so
Yep.
sarcastic. I'm like, oh, you didn't know that? Like, oh yeah, like, man, this is, it's, I want people, we all deserve to be able to work with or hire people that we want to work with. And the faster you can show up as you are, the less surprises. Even showing up as you are, you're going to get people that are going to say, like, no thanks. There are
Yep.
people, if you can believe it, people that don't appreciate my personality. Jason, I know, it's like, everybody's like, wait, what? This guy just seems so charming, and he's kind of loud and a little annoying and talks a little fast. But besides that, I mean, check that beard out. Right. So there are people that don't want to work with me. If I can get them to not call me, not book a discovery call with me because they saw a video of me and how I show up, you just saved me 15 or 20 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe. Thank you. Right. So to add your voice and your perspective and your story, if you really believe in the mission that you have, that's what you owe the world. You owe the world to show up. Sure, you can have a fancy website. Sure, you can have great copy. You can have great posts on LinkedIn, AI created or you created or whatever. But until somebody can feel like they're sitting across the table from you at Starbucks, having a coffee, and like, what are you really like? When you can show up like that, man, the trust that you can build with the right client, it's outside of going to an event and meeting people face to face. This is the best tool that we have that can serve people 24/7, right? We can go to sleep.
Wow.
People can watch our videos and learn more about us.
Wow. Oh, goodness. So powerful. So talk to us then about the leader who's going, okay, they're so worried about what they're going to say. And maybe they're like not even thinking through, this is where I could bring in storytelling. I could think of stories for my business. Like what role do those stories, what role, does telling those stories play in you showing up online?
I mean, story is everything.
Mm.
That I know, like every video person probably says that, and a lot of people not in video say that and use that. It is your perspective. It's how you see the world, and there is nobody else that has what you have, right? They have some of the technical abilities or some of the knowledge that you have, but in the way that you see it, nobody has that. So that makes you unique. And if somebody's looking at company A versus company B, and let's say you're company B, and they hear your story and something resonates, they're going to be drawn to want to work with you because your pricing's probably similar to the other person. And maybe that person's hiding behind, they're not showing up. They're not even putting a photo of themselves on their website. They're putting all the fancy words and all the things, and they got, all the bells and whistles on their website. Some people are going to be drawn to that, but the clients that are going to stick around the longest are the ones that connect, that feel connected, that feel like they get you. And, by not showing up and sharing even some of your story, like the question, why do you do this work? Or why do you care about this work? Or tell me, like, who is an ideal client for you? Like, and to understand, like, oh, okay, yeah, that's actually me. Like, he just described me. Like, wow, okay, I should have at least a conversation with this person. We overcomplicate it. I love brand stories. I love these, like, mini documentaries that kind of go, really in depth. And if I can get a business owner to cry as I'm, like, interviewing them, that's like gold. But you could be as simple as, sit here like you or I are, pretend like somebody's interviewed, pretend you're on a podcast and somebody asks you, why do you do what you do? To answer that question for somebody is so helpful. Or to even say, here's what I'm excited about. This is what I'm looking forward to. In the last 30 days, here's the thing I'm most proud of. Frequently asked questions when somebody's considering hiring you, when you're on a discovery call, what are the questions that people ask, or what are the questions that you want to make sure that you answer before they're asked? Any of those, like all of that stuff, to be able to show up and share that stuff, that's all helpful, and you don't have to overthink it. Like, it's just like you could do that right now.
Wow. Boy, I love that. Going back for a second, people time and time will email me, what was it like starting a podcast? Should I start a podcast? Aren't there too many out there? And I'm like, absolutely not.
There are too many.
There are a lot out there that didn't get past 7 episodes.
So many. Yeah.
I mean, that's,
right.
That's the crazy thing. The imposter syndrome voice that I have, because I just finished writing my book, Speak with People, Not at Them. A little shameless plug, be out in the fall. But I look at my shelves and I'm like, oh, Super Communicators by Charles Duhigg. And, like down the list of all of, like, why do we need another? And you answered it earlier. Like, look around the world. Like, have we made a dent in healthy communication? Are people actually treating each other with more respect, with more civility? Not that I can see. So I'm like, okay, that's why. I love that. So how can small businesses then, because I think some of us have had the perspective of like, well, I just can't afford it. I can't do anything when it comes to video, when it comes to getting, some of those video messages out there. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll come up with, it's amazing the excuses we all come up with. And I'm as guilty as the next person. for not showing up a long time on video to promote what we do, because I'm like, well, yeah, we make our clients look amazing, but I don't have the time or capacity, or there are other people out there doing it better than me, so I might as well not. Um, I think that um, I think I had a brain fart and say the question again.
What if the roadblock for us is I don't have any more.
Oh yeah,
I don't
lots
have
of
any more. I don't have any more
excuses.
money. What do I do here?
It doesn't cost any money unless you don't have a smartphone, right, that has a video camera on it. It is crazy. These cameras, I mean, this is insane. This phone, this is an iPhone 16, but the 15 does this as well. If you go outside, this has what's called action mode on it. I can like turn my phone on, turn my camera on video, and hit the action mode button, and I can start running with my phone, and then I can watch that footage of me like bouncing as I hit every step, and that footage will be smooth. I used to wear a vest that cost $2,500 that had this robotic arm, counterweights, huge camera, and that I could do that. This shoots 4K. I can turn that into slow motion. All the things. This fits in my pocket. So the excuse of I can't afford it, that's not an excuse. There are other excuses that I think are buried. So if somebody said, "Well, here, let me give you all the gear," another excuse would come up
Right.
because of our insecurities, because of imposter syndrome, because of all of these things that make us afraid to do it. I think the thing that has been most helpful for me, there's a saying that I use. It's your mission is more important than your mug.
Mm.
And when I say mug, like a lot of people are like, I don't like how I look. I don't like how I sound. I don't have as nice of light as Ryan does, or the cameras, or whatever. But if you remember your mission, and your mission could just be, I want to put food on my table for my family. I mean, that's a pretty good mission. But if your mission goes beyond that, say like, I want to also serve my clients in a way that changes their trajectory, helps them grow, and helps them put food on there. If your mission, if you really believe it to be important, then you'll get out of your own way
Yep.
and show up. And your message, as you share, you hit record. You know what? When you don't say it right, when you say the wrong words and you fumble a little bit, people will appreciate that. People will respect that. That will feel real to them. Instead of the videos that we typically do for clients are polished, the lighting is amazing, the sound is perfect, the transitions are seamless, all of that stuff. But then now when we're like, hey, we're going to create a testimonial film, it's like, maybe we should do it vertical, and maybe we should use an iPhone instead of our, camera that's worth a lot of money, because we're going for this vibe that we want it to feel super relatable and authentic. So production value, all of that stuff, throw that out the window. Showing up as you are, fumbling through, is the best thing that you can do to serve your audience. And then the next excuse is like, well, I don't know how to edit, or that takes a long time. Well, when you just say, I'm going to do 3 takes, no more than 3 takes. I'm going to try it. I'm going to fumble. It doesn't take long to edit a video where you're like, I'm not going to really edit much. Maybe I'll cut out the awkward 5 seconds at the beginning and the awkward 2 seconds at the end.
Yep.
But I'll give people this, and I'll even say while I'm recording a video, this is something I do to try to give permission to people. I'll say, well, I'm going to leave that in there just so you feel permission that you can do that too.
Wow.
Nobody's going to like you less. Your ideal audience, your ideal client is not going to like you less. If they have been following along with you, if they appreciate your perspective, they are going to be okay with that. The haters, the trolls, whatever, it's like, yeah, but you don't want to work with people that
Right.
are like that. Like, so perfect. You just weeded that person out, and one less person to hop on a discovery call with.
Wow. Wow. Goodness gracious. I may put that up on my wall. Your mission is more important than your mug. For like the last 6 to 8 months, I've really been like, I put stuff out there, not to make this about about Jason, but I have that I have some of those self-image, situations, been a rough year weight
Yeah.
wise. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't really want to, I don't want to. And I just,
Yeah.
what you just said there, I think holds so many of us back. We're like,
Mm.
okay, other people are struggling, put it
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
there. Your voice matters, and it's time to move forward and, help other people with that.
Yeah.
That is powerful stuff. And then, talk to us for a second too, those of us who have started and we're looking at the views and we're going, oh, it's only got 17 views. Oh, it only got 4. It only got 101 views. I find myself in the past and currently, getting stuck in the, is this worth it? Is this worth it? For 100 views? I'm
It's
being
not.
way
You
too
shouldn't
honest.
do it.
Sorry.
Just no, dude. I mean, I have that same. If you look at my podcast, my video podcast, and you please don't go look at the views on my podcast. It's in the hundreds. I don't know if any of them have hit 1,000 views. And also, it's a 6-figure business.
Mm.
And most of it, I've thought about shutting the podcast down multiple times over the last 9 years, 400 plus episodes. And I hosted a retreat earlier this year, and we kind of brought this up in conversation. And one of the guys said, "Hey, even though the podcast isn't getting as many views as you want, I wouldn't be in this mastermind without it.
Oof.
The trust that you have built with that show, because it's a 45-minute long thing. It's so I'm not hiding anything. I'm showing up, and it just
Yep.
it is what it is. And that's the thing that you can't measure. It's like, okay, so 17 people showed up, but if those were 17 ideal clients, I mean, if I had 17 brand new clients today, I mean, I'd be flying down to Florida. We'd be hanging out doing this podcast in person, because
That's right.
that's a crap load of money.
Yeah.
So we just the whole comparison thing, don't get me started, but it's so frustrating. It's so annoying. I mean, I have friends that are, they've left their corporate job to do YouTube because they get millions of views. I mean, there's a
Wow.
lot of money in that. But when it comes to our small businesses, 50 views, 25 views, it's like, who's seeing it? Because if the right person's seeing it, you just need, how many clients do you need?
Yep.
And building a proper funnel and whatever, like that can help in all of that. But I try not to, as best I can, to say like, oh, I do this plenty where I'm like, oh man, it's only got 200. Are you serious? That was such a great episode. But I know at the end of the day, because people tell me like, dude, I would not be here if it was not for the podcast. And I'm like, hard to believe, because like, only get this many downloads or this many views. But yeah, I mean, that's proof's in the pudding, and you can't deny that.
That's incredible. And it's the comparison thing. We just get, it's
Ugh.
like from the dawn of time, we get wrapped
So
up
bad.
in it.
Yeah.
And I love the picture of the movie theater where people are like, you're only complaining about 200 views, and then you see the movie theater packed and you're like,
Yeah.
oh shoot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, would I like to have a room with 200 people in it sharing this thing? Like, yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But when we see, when everything we watch has tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, it's like, yeah, we're getting served those because there is something in the algorithm that's like saying like, yeah, you should watch this. And we watch it and it was like, that's really good. But is it like, 100,000 times better than the video I put out? No, absolutely not. It's maybe 3 times better. Maybe not. So yeah, getting caught up in that's hard, because that's what we're surrounded with. Like, who's got this, who's in the 6-figure club of views or subscribers or whatever. And it's like,
I don't want to brag, because I don't want our listeners, to put me on some type of pedestal here. But I have been getting between $25 and $50 a month from Facebook for about 6 months,
dude,
because of my.
Let's go to dinner, man. You owe us all. Like, pay it back, pay it forward.
Now we're talking. Pretty incredible. Okay, a couple last questions. Any tips on how to come across? Somebody presses record. How do I? Any tips for those of us who struggle with being on camera?
Yeah, I mean, one is just like address it. First video. I'm doing this because I was told, blame it on Jason, blame it on Ryan, that if I showed up, I would find my ideal audience. I could serve them. I'm so uncomfortable on video right now, you guys, but, and actually not saying you guys, I just made a mistake there. Assume that you're talking to one person. Okay,
Mm.
that's actually very important. So when you're talking to camera, it's not, unless you've got, the like tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of subs. Don't be like, hey guys.
The
Uh,
the
but
YouTubers who are like, "Hey fam." Oh gosh.
yeah.
I can't handle
Yes.
it.
So let's just know, like,
Yep.
your one ideal client, give that person a name that you don't say out loud necessarily, and just say, like, that's who you're showing up for. And so, like, here I am, Jason told me to do this, and I'm so uncomfortable. I'm so out of my element. But what I care more about is serving you. And today I just want to tell you the 3 ways that video can change your business. And I just want to start by sharing how it's changed mine. So looking at the camera, looking at the lens. This is another really easy way. Like if you're doing a selfie video, the lens is actually at the very top of your screen. It's not your face where a lot
Mm.
of us look. We look at our face on the screen. And so if I'm having coffee with you and you're looking at my forehead the entire time, or you're looking at my mouth the entire time, I'm gonna be a little insecure and be like, bro, like my eyes are right here. Yeah, like up here, buddy.
It's that beard,
Um,
man. It's that beard.
yeah. So it's the same thing. Like if and I know you're talking about the power of communication, and uh, there's so many like subtle things that if we did a little bit differently, the people on the receiving end would feel much differently after having conversation with us. So even if you're talking to a screen, try to make eye contact with the lens. Like my setup right here, and yours is probably the same. I have a teleprompter and my camera is right behind it. So and then I dragged over the window, like my big monitor's right here, and I dragged over the little monitor that has you and I on it. So I'm looking at us right now.
Yep.
And that's the best thing I can do to make this feel like, I'm looking at you and we're having an engaging conversation.
I love it. That's the same. That's spectacular. One last question. We'll ask a couple rapid fire. Where should they start? Do they start by just posting on their LinkedIn? Do they start a YouTube channel? Do they just whatever social media is their favorites?
A couple of ideas here. You want to go where your people are, and you might not know where that is. But if there's a place that you're hanging out and there are some other people that are hanging out there, then maybe start there. Uh, I recommend batch recording. It's how I do it's how I stayed consistent with my show for so long, where I'll try to do 4 or 5 interviews on one Thursday a month. But if you don't plan to batch record yourself and plan batch editing session, then it's going to be really hard. It's going to be hard to stay consistent, and that's the key in all of this. You shoot one video, your first video is going to suck. It's going to be really bad. Your second one's not going to be much better. Third one, yeah, it's going to be a little bit better. It's going to take you a dozen or more until you start finally feeling good about what you're seeing and hearing, and feeling more confidence. But you have to pick a cadence that works. So if that's 1 video a week, if that's 3 videos a week, or just, what, I'm going to do 2 videos per month, but creating some kind of a consistency so that you commit to it, you put it in your calendar and you do it. And then you just don't overthink it, because, or you don't overthink the editing. It's really hard to edit yourself. Number one, because you probably feel like, well, everything I said was important. It could probably be tightened up, but there's always something else that can be edited. And at the end of the day, you've just got to ship it at some point, and it's good enough. It's good enough for who it's for, whatever. So creating consistency and just knowing that it's not going to go well for a while, and people will appreciate that you're actually doing it.
Yep.
Starting is you have to start. And you look at your favorite YouTuber or favorite whoever, and you look at their first video compared to their most recent one, you're like, oh my gosh, if we all did that, we'd feel like, oh, I can do this. I can totally do this, because their first videos looked terrible. No lighting, no special camera, no cool background or anything. It was just like they did it. That's the thing. It's like
Yep.
they said, I'm going to do this. They did it. They stuck with it. If you can do that, man, if you could do that for 6 months, the videos that you're going to be making 6 months from now are going to be so much better and so much more helpful. So it's hard. It's hard, but getting people around you that can hold you accountable to that and encourage you, give you feedback, and help you, I think that could be a game changer as well.
Well, that's so powerful. And at some point, you will be in a store somewhere, and someone will walk up to you and go, "Oh, I saw your video," and that's like a game changing moment where you're like, "Oh, okay." Like there's only one person, but when one person says, "Hey, I saw your video," like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then if they
Yeah.
say something, about it, or those kind of things, it's great. But to be able to get your message out there, it will help your business. It will help you improve your client communication, because you'll be able to speak to them in a whole different
Right.
way.
Yeah. Yeah. I love
I'm
that.
curious, with your clients, do you only speak to them over video? Like, do you record a video, send it to them instead of calling them? I'm sort of joking, but I do wonder, how much of video do you use in your client communication process?
I mean, I do a lot like with my team, even though a lot of times they're just across the hallway. Loom videos all the time. I mean, I'm sending a lot of stuff like that. Mostly it's for them to be able to reference later as well, and to be able to watch on their own time. But for discovery calls, those are obviously all live video calls with my team when we're there. We're all together, that sort of thing. But yeah, leveraging video in as many ways. But Loom has been so helpful to be able to ask questions, like even on emails. Like if I get a wild email from a client that is like, what is this person saying? Not that they're angry. If they're angry, I'm
Mhm.
trying to get on a call with them or trying to meet with them or whatever. But if it's just like really confusing, I'll just walk through and kind of talk out loud, like, hey, so that, like, this line here, I'm not sure like what a blah 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 is. I think if what I'm hearing you say is this and this. So even for people to hear your tone and even hear your confusion or whatever is more helpful than firing off an email that's just like, this doesn't make any sense, help me understand. It's like, wait, were they saying this doesn't make any sense, or were they saying, yeah, I don't know, this doesn't really make sense, I'm not that smart? It's very different
Yep.
meaning
It's
there.
like that Key and Peele video where they're texting back and forth and they're like, "Oh, I'll come
Gosh,
over."
dude, so good. Yeah. Getting
Do-
super mad.
yeah. do you
Oh man.
I'm curious, just from your own systems business, but do you send proposals video wise? Do you send a normal like PDF packet and a video? Do you send just a video?
Yeah, typically, what I've learned, thank you, the second time his name has come up, Jimmy Hogewind. He taught me a long time. I was a really good friend of mine. Uh, when you have a proposal, get on a call with a client. It's a video call. Don't send them the proposal. Walk them through the proposal. Share your screen. Walk them through the proposal. Let them ask any questions. Because the worst thing I could do is send a proposal, hope that they understand everything. And the way that I talk isn't
Yes.
necessarily the way that everybody understands. So for them to be able to ask any questions while we're right there in person, that's great. And then sometimes I will follow that up with a video recording of me walking through it, and then send them the PDF or the Canva link or whatever it is, for them to be able to go through that. But that's been a game changer. I think just the customer service aspect has been way more helpful, and way less questions that they're going to fire off via email, and I have to hope that I'm understanding what their actual question
Yep.
is in that.
Yep. So will you, if someone's on you to just say, "Hey, just give me $1, just give me a ballpark amount, just shoot it over, just shoot over," will you say, "Hey, I'd really like to schedule a time where we can do this over video"?
Typically, like a discovery call, like our ideal clients aren't emailing us and asking us for a price.
Okay.
They might, but what we're going to encourage them to do is hop on a call. It's usually like a 15 or 20-minute call where we're going to
Yep.
try to understand a little bit
Yep.
better what they think they need, and based on what they share there, I might give them some rough ranges around what we've done in the past that's similar to that. But again, like, so many areas for misunderstanding, and I want to understand what's the potential value of this project, because that that informs everything. If they don't value video, I don't want to waste my time with them. If they're just after somebody that's got a great camera and a tripod and they want to direct and do all this stuff, like we just don't really do much or care to do that kind of work. It's the people that really need it, know that it's valuable, and I want to make sure that they understand the potential impact that this project, this video, or this campaign could have on their business. So then it makes it easier to justify, like, oh, okay, yeah, so if we are going to spend $5,000 or $10,000 on this, we can see that we just need 2 clients from this whole thing, and it's going to pay for itself. And then this video is going to go, we're going to use it for 2 or 3 years, so we better get way more than 2 clients. So it's definitely going to be worth it.
Yeah. What's your typical? You have the discovery call. How much time goes before that next proposal call?
Yeah, the discovery call. It depends on what it is. We offer a workshop as part, if that's a better fit, before we hit record on the camera. So this is whole planning workshop thing. So it's usually like if somebody did say, yeah, we need a quote, and we kind of understood what they need within 2 days, probably we're hopping on a call. There are some, so I'm not going to say like every time we're hopping on a call to walk them through a proposal. If it's a job that doesn't seem like it has that much value, or they're just kind of like they're waffling, they're not able to get on a call, we're not able to get on a call, I'll at that point I probably will create a Loom video that goes over, that explains a little bit, but that here's the price, rough estimate or range or whatever the case might be.
Okay, last question. I went over the time I told you, but you're like,
that's okay.
Your business like brilliance is amazing. The Loom videos, do you send cold? Do you send them like, hey, I'm Ryan, or your team members? Do they send cold Loom videos, or is that typically after there's some type of a relationship?
I have sent some cold Loom videos, cold email Loom videos. Like, hey, I'm on your front page and you don't have video, and everything that you're talking about is like human centric, and like I don't see people. Like, where are you? And let's hop on a call and just talk about like where you're at with your video strategy, why you're not using it, because it seems like you could make a lot more money if you're using it the right way. So I haven't done that a ton. I don't do, for better or worse, I don't do a lot of cold outreach. I should do a lot more than I do. But that's definitely a way to start a conversation where I'm surfing around. I'm trying to look and understand what they currently have front facing, because that's where we can help people. That's really, that first impression. And if they don't have something on their front page, if they don't have something on their about page, if they don't have something on their recruiting page, it's like, oh my gosh, the opportunities for all the things, endless.
Yep.
When it comes to video.
Yeah. No, I got a Loom cold video yesterday from a podcast company, and they did a video of the Speak with People website, and they're telling me all the things they could do. And they're like, you should also have a podcast. You've got such great content, and like, it's podcast right up on the top of the website. I was like, you got to really go through somebody's website first.
Listen, so Loom has this new feature. I got pitched probably 2 years ago by this same type of person. They were on my website. It was like they were in the bottom corner. It was AI. It was somebody, like they had their assistant or whoever go to my website, record 2 seconds of the website and scrolling. And then the person said, "Hi, Ryan." I couldn't really hear it. The circle was so small to see their face. But the guy told me, I got on a sales call with him because I was like, well, you guys got my attention. Like, this was pretty good. And he's like, this is the same thing we would do for you. Here's how we do it. We use AI and we can export names and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So whoever said your name, it probably wasn't the founder saying your name. It was him saying all the other things, and they're just inserting name and mass mailing.
Just incredible. Well, hey,
crazy.
before I let you go, let's do a couple of rapid fire questions that our listeners know. We're building this online communicators library for everyone to go to, get some ideas for some new resources. We talk about speakers a lot on this podcast. Is there a speaker that every time you hear them, you're just like, oh, how do they do it? They just fill you up. Can't wait to tell somebody about them.
Oh man. I'll say Erwin McManus.
Yeah.
Is this rapid fire? Do you want me to expand on that?
That's great. No, let's keep it there. That's amazing. If you're a podcast listener, not everybody is, but is there a development or a guilty pleasure podcast that you just keep coming back to because it's just that good?
Yeah, it's annoying because I keep coming back. A good friend of mine who's actually in Tampa, Graham Cochran,
Ah,
he's just a genius. And his approach is so simple. It's so annoying, but it is so effective. And his heart is just amazing. The guy is he's incredible. Very talented. Great communicator. All of the things.
I got to talk to you about Graham. We'll talk about that offline because he is. I agree with all of that. Like, so
Yeah.
I gotta ask you a question. Last one is, you just run into Graham. We'll just use him as an example. He's going on a boat, going to a desert island. He's only allowed to take one book. What's the one book that you say you've got to read this? You got to. This is the only book that matters.
Can it be the one that he's told me to read?
Man, this is like getting like really deep into the. I love
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. So if you did minus the Graham part, I would say like, oh, dude, The Go Giver, Bob Berg
Mm.
and John, I can't remember his last name. It's a short read, quick read. I've read it. I don't know how many times over the last like 6 or 7 years, but amazing. Um, just amazing philosophy on how to show up for others, how to enter a room and think, how can I be helpful here?
Mm.
Can I serve anyone here? It's all about abundant thinking and just knowing that if I live a life of service, I will be successful in whatever I do.
Wow, powerful. Powerful.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Where's the best place send our listeners to find you, connect with you online?
Yeah, I am pretty active on LinkedIn. So it's Ryan Koral, Koral. All of the cool work that my team does lives at Tell Studios, TELL Studios.com. And can I give a free thing to your audience? Question mark.
100%. Love this.
Okay, I should have asked you that before we hit record. So I have a starter kit. We call it our Video Blueprint Starter Kit. Before you hit record, if you need some kind of a framework, if you need strategy questions to help you, if you need to know what should you do before you hit record, if you want this, a checklist, all of this, I've just taken some of the best things that can help you not have any more excuses to show up and do the thing. You can download this. It's completely free. It's a PDF at tellstudios.com/starter kit. Starter kit, one word. It's actually not one word, you guys, but tellstudios.com/starter kit. Go download that and you'll get on our email list, and I'll help you in the world of video marketing and all the things that I've learned. And you can just hit unsubscribe if it's terrible.
I love it. Thank you so much. We'll put that in the speakers group. We'll put that in the Speak with Your Client group on LinkedIn, in our emails, because I know it won't be terrible because I've read everything that you've produced and it's just amazing. So
You're
Ryan,
very
thank you.
kind.
I really appreciate your time. You really are one of the most humble, brilliant leaders I've ever met. And so I appreciate your
Oh,
heart and thank you for sharing.
dude, it's a blast. I'm grateful for the work that you're doing. I expressed that to you recently, but just thankful for you sharing your gift and encouraging people to show up real, authentically, and what a gift we all have for the world. We just gotta start.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Speak with People podcast. It means the world to us when you share this episode. Thanks for liking, subscribing, or following the podcast. That really does help the podcast get into more ears and into more leaders listening. Also, don't forget, we have 2 exciting resources for you. The first is go to Facebook and join the speakers group. This is a community designed for leaders who want to grow their communication skills. Also, go to speakwithpeople.com/skills library to access the Communication Skills Library. It is an online resource chock filled with resources that will inspire you and transform you and grow your communication skills. Thanks again for being a part of the listening community. We cannot wait for the next episode.